We're going to go through about how to use member health data for better engagement and retention. Two slightly different things. One about engaging members and clients better, and then flowing into how that will hopefully have a positive impact on your retention. And we're going to try and keep things as simple as possible. It's the general theme that's going to run through all this, is to keep it as simple as possible. There is a lot of data available. I work for Tanita. Our body composition devices pump out about 25 different bits of data every time you do a measurement. The important thing about making sure you use that effectively is looking at the things that are relevant for the person you're talking to, about keeping it simple. So this isn't, even though I am Simon from Tanita, this isn't going to be about the data itself. We're not going to deep dive into about what that data means. We will touch on a few data points to make it relevant, but it's not about the data itself, it's about how you use that data. Data is only as relevant as its use or its application. And the three themes that will run through everything we say is about keeping it simple, keeping it relevant, and keeping it impactful. The impact should come if you're speaking about the right thing and it's easy to understand. So, we're going to open with the simple message. I like things that are simple, not just because I'm called Simon, and there's a nursery rhyme that haunted my childhood. I like things that are simple because you can work with things that are simple. MEPs, put your hands up if you know what MEPs are. Oh, surprisingly few hands. Thank you, thank you. Usually at a fitness event, we say MEPs and everybody's hand goes up. But you're proof for my second slide. So, MEPs, for those that don't know, My Zone, who are here and are not sponsoring my talk, I promise, they only get one slide. My Zone, heart rate monitoring training, have things called MEPs. My Zone effort points. The higher you go into your heart rate training threshold, the more MEPs you get per minute. So where that's used really successfully is that gyms will give people a MEPs target to hit at the end of that week. The gym that I go to, typically, he works on around 1,300 MEPs. So he sets his clients, and basically any member he has, a challenge of hitting 1,300 MEPs per week. Because he knows, typically that means they'll train about 3 times a week. So they're coming in to the gym 3 times a week to do something, which is great. Perfect gym member, high footfall, people are not going anywhere, they're engaged, they're coming on a regular basis. So he uses MEPs as this really simple point to motivate people to be more active. As our hands in the air explained, outside of the fitness industry, inside of the fitness industry, what are MEPs? When we're looking at being engaging and impactful, MEPs has some limitations. So outside of the fitness industry, who hasn't heard about 10,000 steps a day being a good target to hit? Who's never heard that before? Okay, everybody. Everybody's aware of this magical 10,000 steps mark. That is a complete marketing gimmick with zero science behind it for 10,000 steps. 10,000 steps means you're pretty active. If you're pretty active, you will control healthy levels of body fat. You'll maintain healthy levels of muscle mass. But the 10,000 steps bit comes from the 1964 Tokyo Olympics. Tanita have a Japanese company, so this was almost too perfect for me to ignore. The character for 10,000 in Japanese looks a little bit like a running man. So the Japanese at those Olympics, they gave out pedometers and they called them mankoke, 10,000 steps. That's where the 10,000 steps mark come from, that everybody has heard. There is zero science behind 10,000 steps, but it's simple. And it's relevant because if you do 10,000 steps a day, you are definitely active enough for that to impact your health. So it's stuck. Simple, relevant, But when we're looking at impact, 10,000 steps is great, but how applicable is 10,000 steps within a gym? When we're looking at retention for a gym, we want to look a little bit wider than 10,000 steps. So I did say we wouldn't look at lots and lots of body composition data, and we won't. We'll look at some body composition data, but one measurement in particular. Now, if you have used a Tanita device before, if you've come across a Tanita device before, consumer, or one of our professional devices in the gym, you may be familiar with metabolic age. Metabolic age is one single piece of data that is the most engaging, relevant, and impactful piece of data you are likely to get in a gym environment. I don't just say that as Simon from Tanita, even though it kind of pays the mortgage sometimes, but genuinely, it's relevant. You show somebody their metabolic age. We've done a number of measurements today, and the first thing people point to is their metabolic age. They either go a little bit pale and go, why is that saying I'm 55? Or the chest goes out, chin goes up a little bit, they do a little bit of a strut on the scale, and they go, why is it saying I'm 18? Immediate engagement from one single piece of data. If at that point in the measurement you start going through their body fat, their muscle mass, their water, their BMR, their intracellular water, you lose them to a degree straight away. Simple, relevant, impactful, one piece of data is metabolic age. So whatever technology you're working with, if you're not working with any body measurement technology within a gym environment or within any monitoring environment, I mean, that's my first starting point for you, is data is good. Get access to that data. If you are using that information already, what are the most relevant pieces? What are the simplest, easy to understand, impactful pieces? We start that with metabolic age. So the relevance is important. We're going to look at relevance in a little bit more detail. So right back at the start, we said all data is only as meaningful as it is relevant. We could go through 25 pieces of your health data now. 2 of them you might remember. 1 of them you might remember. A small amount of it is relevant. So your job as health and fitness professionals is to find that pieces of relevant data. You have to know who you're working with, who you're talking to. Whether it's your PT client, any member in the gym, whoever it is, you have to know them to make things relevant. The wheel we have developed looks like a lot of information in one diagram. It goes completely against everything I've said about simple and relevant and impactful. Lots of data in one place, but we make it relevant. So if I am working with somebody who is here for weight management, I can look for 4 really quick bits of data. If I'm not sure, because I'm not as confident or familiar with working with body composition technology, I'm working with a weight management client, fat mass, visceral fat, basal metabolic rate, metabolic age. These are the 4 things I might focus on with this person. If you're working with somebody who is 60 plus maybe, they're an active ager, or sarcopenia is the focus for them being in the gym. These are the focus points. So we put this wheel together not as a Bible, but as a guideline for here is lots of data. Make it relevant. Make it relevant to the people that you're working with, and here's a bit of a starter. It's not exclusive. There might be bits of data here that fall in that we haven't put on there. But it's really important you identify who you're working with, what their targets are. Also, what do you think their target should be? Because people come in with a preconception of, I need to lose weight. Too general. Definitely too general. Why do you need to lose weight? Actually, what they want to do is lose some body fat, not lose weight. If you made them lose 10% of their body fat but maintained their weight and showed them that in data, they're not leaving you unhappy. even though they haven't lost any weight and that was their goal. You've made them healthier, you showed them that they are healthier with the data, and you've educated them that health isn't necessarily about weight, it's about what makes up that weight. So breaking the data down into relevance for each individual is really important. Also, health data isn't just for the over 50s. I speak with lots and lots of gym owners, operators who go, we want to focus on health with the over 50s. Why just the over 50s? Does your 18-year-old gym member not want to be healthier? Why are they here if they don't want to be healthier? Everybody wants to be healthier. How they do that and what their targets are, massively different, potentially massively different. The 60-year-old in the gym, different measurements may appeal to them than the 18-year-old in the gym. But health isn't just for the over 50s. We're seeing lots of health initiatives, lots of health programs in fitness. Over 50s is a good demographic to focus on with certain measurements, muscle mass and sarcopenia, and these things that are very relevant at that time of life, but it isn't just for them. Who makes up your gym? I asked a couple of gyms to do this basically, to give me a bit of a breakdown of the demographic of their gym. How would they describe them? You know, what would you describe that member as? What would you describe that member as? Because what's important to the athletes in your gym, and there will be some athletes in your gym, whether they're weekend warriors or semi-professional athletes or professional athletes, they will be some people who are training for performance at whatever level in your gym. Aspects of health data will interest them if they know they exist and are accessible. If you've put your body composition machine in and you're going, it's the body fat machine, your athletes are probably going, all right, it's not for me. Look at me. I don't care about body fat right now. I might do when I'm over 50. Right now, no. If you explain to them what that machine does, and it can monitor their segmental muscle mass or their intracellular water levels, suddenly the athletes are going, oh, that's useful. How do I use that machine? How do I get on board with that process? What do I need to do? So you've got to look at what's important to them. What's important to athletes might be different to people that are in the gym for weight management. It might be different to people in the gym who take more selfies than lift reps. But they're still in your gym. They still need to be engaged. Maybe them more than anybody, because they might have their heads turned at the discounted offer down the road, or the refurb gym down the road that's got some smart new kit. Those people are maybe less loyal. So you need to engage them in the process. And you can. So the focus is, for relevance, make it relevant to everybody. Health isn't just for the over 50s. Everybody who is working in your gym, there will be data coming out of a body composition device or another device that you might use that is relevant for them. But you have to show it to them. You have to find it. Some examples. Again, focusing on body composition, naturally. You've got muscle mass. Muscle mass, athletes, the social media people, lots of selfies. I need muscle mass. I need definition. I've got to look good on Instagram. Important to them. But show them. Tell them that it exists. You can monitor this. Why you should monitor this. 50 plus. That longevity, active ages, sarcopenia, really important measurements for that demographic as well. And they could be at completely opposite ends of the spectrum in the gym. It might be the only bit of kit they both use in the same way, but they're using it in the same way and they're engaged in that process. Total body water has relevance to different people. Total body water should have relevance to everybody. But some people will be very, very, very aware of the need to monitor their total body water. Some people, less so. Getting them to monitor that on a regular basis is important. BMR. What's basal metabolic rate important for? It's important for anyone who's counting calories. That could be an athlete, could be a fighter needing to cut weight. It could be weight loss, again. Education about, actually, your goal is to lose fat. In order to lose fat, we need to look at how many calories you eat. Here's your basal metabolic rate. Here's how many calories your body actually needs. Now, what do you eat in a typical day? And then you see faces of dawns of realization going, oh, way too many calories. So it become that one measurement for that conversation would be massively powerful, relevant to that person looking to lose weight. Intracellular water for athletes, really important. And again, when I go into gyms, one of the most underutilized people with body composition are those performance athletes. They're almost just left to get on with it because they know what they're doing, or the perception is they know what they're doing, and they keep coming back because lifestyle, fitness is their lifestyle, performance is their lifestyle. So some gym operators worry less about them, but everybody needs to be engaged. How are you engaging them? You might not be offering them weight loss programs or training programs or nutrition programs, but you can monitor their intracellular water. Drops in intracellular water will impact performance immediately. Do they know you can monitor that? Do they know they should monitor that? Suddenly, a potentially non-engaged gym member who might come all the time but isn't massively engaged is wanting regular measurements, is wanting regular touch points with you because they identify the importance of that. We can monitor sarcopenia. We can monitor segmental muscle mass. And again, it's all about relevance. Who is that important to? If I'm doing a measurement with Eric, who's just come in because his GP has referred him because his BMI is through the roof. If my first conversation to him is about segmental muscle mass, Eric's going to go, all right, thanks. It's not massively relevant. My first conversation to Eric is probably metabolic age. Look at your metabolic age, how old you are compared to how old this machine is telling you are. Or it's his body fat mass, because that's why he's been sent. It's the relevant bits of data. So just because the data exists doesn't mean it should all be used on measurement 1 or measurement 2. It's about making that relevant to who you're talking to. And if something is relevant, it should become engaging. One naturally flows into the other. If something isn't relevant, if I'm talking to Eric about his segmental muscle mass and his GP referral for high BMI, is that engaging for him? Possibly not. Is he getting on board with me in the gym? Is he buying into what we're trying to do? Possibly not, if you're focusing on segmental muscle mass. So relevance leads into engagement. But communication is the key to engagement. It's the number one thing that you should focus on. But relevant communication is what you need to be particularly focused on. A few months ago, we did a little bit of a similar talk to this with a local authority. The local authority said communication is really important. They gave their fitness instructors a KPI of talking to at least 10 people every shift. Every time they work, they have to talk to 10 people. We witnessed fitness instructors going, good morning, hello, good morning, good morning, hello, good morning. 10, done. I can sit down now and put my feet up. Great, well done. You've ticked your KPI box. You've communicated with 10 people. About what? How relevant was it? How impactful was it? Generating relevant communication is more difficult than you think. To do it time and time and time again without becoming repetitive. But it is the number one key to engagement. If you are in regular communication with your members or your clients and that is relevant, they are less likely to go somewhere else. They are more likely to be on board with what you're trying to achieve with them because you're communicating it with them. Health measurements, body composition data is one of those things that is definitely relevant for everybody in that gym. So when you're discussing those communication points, what do we talk to our members about? we talk to members about their targets, their health, the fact that they need to rebook for another appointment potentially. Have they booked that health check appointment in? When did they last do a body composition test? It becomes a really natural and easy thing to talk about on a consistent basis. Discussion around somebody's health is really personal. Personal communication is the most relevant of all communications. On the way in this morning, I had a podcast on and they were talking about communication. And they said, suddenly we're a bit filtered out to just general personal communication. 5 years ago, you got an email, a marketing email, and it was not named. It was just hello or hey or whatever it was. Suddenly, people started getting marketing emails through saying, hey, Simon. And you went, oh, this person, this company knows my name. That's ace. I might read this. Now, every marketing email we get says, hey, Simon. So you're sort of zoned out from it, and they're trying to hit those other personalized targets. In fact, if you get a marketing style or sales email now that isn't personalized, we kind of go, okay, that's a bit weird. Why is it not addressed to me? Even though I didn't want it, why is it not addressed to me? So making things personal is really, really important. And that relevant communication, the discussion around what people want to achieve, is crucial. It helps them to achieve it. They might have one PT session a week. They might have 0 PT sessions a week. But you've done that initial assessment with them. You've set goals for them. They know those goals are achievable. And you having that regular communication with them about how many times have they trained this week? What have they trained this week? When's your next body composition scan? So we can track your progress. Real easy touch points for you to talk to members or your clients about something relevant, not just good morning and hello and how's the cat or whatever the generic conversation that people almost come to expect. You need to go beyond that level, personalize those communications as much as possible. The booking for the next measure is really important. So when you're taking somebody through this member journey, we talk now lots about member journeys. If member journey is a phrase you've never heard of before, then I mean there are people in the room who you can discuss member journeys with. Every one of your members, you should have a journey mapped out for them. Whether you share that with them or whether that's you behind the scenes monitoring that, depends on who you're working with. But you have to have this structure in place. If we're getting this type of member in, how are we communicating with them? How are we engaging with them? Where do we want to see them in 4 weeks, in 6 weeks, in 12 weeks? How many times should we have seen them in 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks? Are we tracking things like this? And body composition is a key tool to do that with, because as soon as they come in, you get them on and you do them a measure and you show them that data and they look at metabolic age and they cry for a little bit, and then you go through why their metabolic age is high, and this is what we're going to do about it. Here's your targets. And then 2 weeks later, you do the same thing again, because then you're talking to them for that really short period of time. And then 2 weeks later, you might do the same thing again, because you continue to talk to them and continue to engage with them in those really early weeks of being a gym member. Those danger weeks, you've got something relevant to keep talking to them about. Helps to create accountability, and accountability is ace, because people without the accountability are typically the people who stop coming or cancel the PT or cancel the gym memberships entirely. Create the accountability. One of your roles, create accountability. We create accountability by going, you're going to get tested again in 2 weeks' time. We want to see some improvements. This is what you need to do in that period. Now you're going to get tested again in 2 more weeks. You don't need to wait 6 weeks, 8 weeks between these measurements when engagement and retention and more of the focus than the actual progress, which is what it is in those first 2 to 3 months of any new gym membership. So we've started to touch on this a little bit. Basically, relevance, simplicity, creates impact. That's the key message for any data, not just body composition data, but the key data. If I need any data, if I need to look at our accounts data, I want it as simple as relevant as possible. And then I can help, and then I can understand it and do something with it. So a little bit of strategy. We've talked about, I guess, the tactics of it, the ideas behind it. Now some clear things that you can do. First focus is about increased membership. So health measurements, body composition data, a really, really, really key tool to help increase your memberships. Whether that's gym memberships, whether it's members as you as a gym client. But how? First thing is, when people come to have a look round, put them on the machine. Loads of places don't do, oh, you can't touch anything until you're a member. No, you can maybe have a tour day. You can have a day pass or something like that, but you can't do any of this, you can't touch this, you can't do that, you can't join this class until you're a member. Get them on a body composition machine on that day pass, or even on that tour. My friend has a gym in Rochdale. Every person that comes from a tour, he gets on the body composition machine. He's an MMA fighter, so he's pretty persuasive, but he's also quite charming, so he's also persuasive. He's a double whammy. People have no chance with him. They go on the machine, immediately he's showing them the value and the importance of being a member. Here's your data, and here's what we're going to do about it, even before they've signed up. His conversion from day pass, general tour to membership jumps significantly. He's not organised enough to give me actual numbers, which is frustrating, but it jumps considerably when he started to do that, because people went, oh yeah, okay, I need to do something about that metabolic age. You're already telling me what to do about that metabolic age. Okay, let's go and sign up. So he doesn't even wait until they're members. Pre-membership, he gets them on a body composition machine, shows them the data, tells them what they're going to do about it. Health checks for non-members. If you have body composition technology, that does not have to be restricted use for your members. Anybody can jump on it. If you can staff that, anybody can jump on it. People in your community will want to learn to be healthier. They'll want knowledge about how to become healthier. They might not want to join the gym, but they want to become healthier. Creating a message around, you can come into our gym for a body composition scan. This is some of the data you will get. You'll also get 15 minutes as a consultation with some takeaways, and that'll cost you this much. That is no different to somebody going to insert any diet company name here. It's no different to them going to a Weight Watchers or Herbalife or anywhere where they're just getting weighed and then being sent away again. The difference is, as fitness professionals, you can steer and signpost them in a better direction. So health checks for non-members is a fantastic way to generate new members. Some of them will never sign up for the gym. Ace, okay. They're still getting a revenue from them, but they're never touching the gym floor. Some will go, yeah, that gym I was really scared of, that I've now been in 15 times, 10 times, 5 times. Not that scary, is it? How much are your gym memberships again? And it'll naturally lead in to gym memberships, all starting from health checks for non-members. We're seeing some really good practice around education. Education is a great route into gym memberships, particularly if you're community focused. So having an awareness day, effectively an open day, but you focus on a single measurement of body composition. Whether that's metabolic age, that would be the clear favourite one, because it would create the interest in the story. It could be visceral fat. It could be sarcopenia. It could be any of those measurements. Create that story around awareness, share that in the community, advertise the fact that you can come into our gym on this day, free body composition scan, we're going to talk to you about metabolic age. Here's why you really need to know about metabolic age. Also, while you're here, come and have a look at our shiny cool gym, if that's for you. Or have a look at our Health Seeker memberships, our Health Chat memberships, if that's for you. You've got a captive audience of people that might only ever return for a measurement, but regular communication, regular touch points, extra streams of revenue from these people who you may never have seen before if it wasn't for these initiatives and awareness around health. Testimonials from members. I shouldn't be having to preach too much about the strength of testimonials from members, but members go in, yeah, hi, I'm Simon from Fit Club. I was a pretty flaky member until I saw my metabolic age, and then I had a small breakdown, and now I come to the gym 3 times a week, and I am a committed member because I saw that bit of data. You should check out your metabolic age too. That on your social media posts from a gym member is probably more powerful than coming from the gym itself, because people will see themselves in that image. You likely have all done testimonials, gym member testimonials, but ones about specific things can be even more powerful because people will see their specific reason or their specific failings in that person. So testimonials around why that health measurement, why that bit of data, why that helped them become healthier. Really, really powerful. Increasing memberships onto higher packages. So you might have bronze, silver and gold tier packages. What do you do to incentivize people to pay you more? Bronze, no body composition. Silver, you get a body composition scan a month. Gold, unlimited body composition scans with a consultation. Easy upsells of value to increase the money from people you've already getting money from. It's easier to get more money from your current members than it is to get a new member. So introducing added value within your club is a great way to increase membership fees coming in without actually having to attract new members. Also downsell. We don't talk about downselling enough, and I'm not going to pretend this is my idea. Guy who is sat in the front, guy from GG. Oh, in fact, there's 2 guys. This is really confusing. I have 2 guys at the front. Guy Griffiths, this guy, this guy. We do a lot of work with Guy because Guy does a lot of work around retention. So our technology ties in really nicely. And one of the things that we've discussed over the years is retaining members that want to leave on a lower membership. So you want to leave. Okay, why? Obviously, find out some reasons why. Well, rather than leave, why don't we look at a lower grade membership for you? A nominal fee, whatever it might be, scaled down from what they were paying. And for that, you still get to come in once a month and have your body composition scan, have your 15 minutes with a trainer, maintain that healthy journey you want to be on. Would that suit you? Or are you leaving for other reasons? But offering that safety net of not losing people in total. The body composition analysis and health checks are a really powerful tool for that too. Offering benefit in kind. So if you've been a member for 5+ years and people want to leave, well actually, okay, find out the reasons why they want to leave, but because you've been a member for 5 years, for the next 6 months, we're going to let you come in once a month and have a body composition scan for nothing, as a thank you for being a member for 5 years. Also not my idea, Guy's idea. Lots of ideas from over here. I just verbalise them at things like this. Suddenly that conversation shifts. Oh, okay, yeah, that might be good. I'm not joining another gym, I'm just not going to a gym anymore. So coming back in just to use that machine, okay. And then you maintain contact with them, naturally. You don't have to push emails through to them that are personalised, obviously, but you don't have to push that through to them. So there's ways that body composition leads to increased membership. You know, that secondary spend in a lot of clubs is a really crucial revenue point. How are you generating people through to that secondary spend? What relevance does it have? You know, for example, only because it's here, if I'm selling upbeat drinks in my gym, how am I driving people to this? This drink has caffeine in it, has protein in. It has BCAAs in. Off the back of a body composition monitor, off the back of a body composition measurement, if somebody muscle mass is low, what are they supplementing with? Oh, I don't want a protein shake. Okay, well, you could do to increase your protein levels. Do you know we sell this product that will help you? It's a natural conversation into a secondary spend. Do people sell protein drinks? Do you sell hydration drinks? Intracellular water? People's intracellular water is often at a terrible ratio. And they don't understand why. It's down to nutrition more than anything. We sell drinks with branched chain amino acids in. BCAAs, and the sodiums, the potassiums, the electrolytes that are in these drinks that we sell, that will help you improve this element of your health. Buy them. Without shoving them in to buy them, you're naturally supplementing that secondary spend with actual data, not just sales pitching stuff because you've got to sell it because you've bought it in from a wholesaler. So there is lots of ways that you can increase revenue, increase membership, retention of members. Retention of members is a little bit more of a member journey focus. So we've mentioned quite a few of these things already just in a natural conversation. So we will fire through these a little bit quicker. First measurement immediately. Maybe even pre-membership. That baseline data. This is what you were when you started. That's the most powerful bit of information you're going to own. Here's what you were when you started. Set them their targets, goals, through a conversation. Get to know them in a personal way, not just your PARQ form. What's wrong with you? Nothing. Okay, crack on. Much more detail. The thing we measure, so body composition analysis, when it's used medically and clinically, it'll be 4 to 6 weeks between measurements. You have to give the body some time to change before you measure it again. We are not just focused on improvements though. We want to focus on retention. That's a massively important thing. Retention is more important for you than your members making progress. Members making progress is nice. Of course you want members to make progress. Happy members stay longer. But if lots of your members are making progress but you don't have enough members, that's the problem. So attracting new members and retaining the members you have is really important. So get them booked in for that second measurement within 2 to 3 weeks. This is when we're going to test you again. And then, on a regular basis, remind them of that appointment that's coming up. Create the accountability early in their life with you as a gym member. Creating that accountability helps people to come to the gym again. When they have that morning where they go, cannot be bothered this morning, but next Thursday I've got that body composition scan. If I don't go today, they start having that conversation with themselves and justifying why they should come. It will help. Certainly helps people in that early stage who might be the ones that go, join up, new member, I'm going to hit the gym, I'm going to smash it this time, I'll go 3 times in the first week, and then twice, and then once, and then they don't come for 3 weeks, and then they come back again, and then you don't see them for 2 more weeks. And you know those guys better than I do. Having that measurement booked in creates the accountability that keeps them on track, or helps to keep them on track. And then do that again, 2 to 3 weeks after that one. This is your next appointment. We're going to track your progress again here at this point. So therefore you need to maintain what you're doing now because we want to see improvements again at this point. So in that first 6 weeks, that first 6 weeks is the most crucial period for people creating a habit of coming to the gym. In that first 6 weeks, they'll have had 3 appointments. face-to-face appointments, relative communication. That makes it impactful. They will see their progress. Hopefully, they will see the progress they're making really early and go, okay, I'm smashing this. Creates the habit. Those 6 weeks, then that measurement might get pushed back to monthly. Once the habit's set and people are in a routine of coming to the gym, maybe for the first time in their lives, you don't have to do a measurement every 2 and 3 weeks at that point. Back to once a month though. Still keep that measurement in, that accountability, that progress tracker. That's really, really important. I've had my 5-minute warning, so I've got to fire through 3 slides for you. Me saying all this is great, but we have some actual evidence for it. So today we're here alongside eGym. Our technology integrates with an eGym fitness hub. eGym do case study at a gym in Blackpool over a 12-month period. The focus was age. So with Tanita, we give a metabolic age. When our technology goes through the fitness hub, it comes out as a metabolism age. It becomes one of these 4 ages that people can track. 17.5% increase in new sales, 2% attrition reduction, which doesn't sound massive, but is massive. Almost the most important thing, nearly 5k of additional income. Huge, huge revenue boost from focusing on health, but focusing on one piece of data, an age-related data. Simple, relevant, impactful, and the business sees it at the end of the day as well. Another one of our big customers is Body Street. Body Street are an EMS studio. If you're not familiar with EMS, it's electromuscular stimulation. You put the suit on, you do a 20-minute body weight workout, and that's their USP. 20 minutes, hit the muscles really hard. That's their USP, 20-minute EMS workout. They use our technology and they advertise metabolic age on their front door. On all their socials, obviously, on their front door. What's your metabolic age? Come in and find out. Their feedback is one very simple thing. It generates an emotional response. As soon as you get an emotional buy-in, job done. People will stay as a gym member. They will stick to that intervention. They're emotionally bought into it. Psychologists, I am not a psychologist, psychologists will tell you, get the emotional response and you will create impact. Without the emotional response, it's always going to be challenging to get to that goal that you want to do or to hit the targets that you want to do. Metabolic age creates the emotional response. Mark from Body Street's words, not my words that I told him to write down, genuinely his words. And he said it's very unusual for us not to convert anybody who has a metabolic age 5 or 10 years above their actual age. They see that one number and go, oh, okay, yeah, I need to sign up clearly. So he uses that as a huge new member and a retention tool. The last one is more of a general health MOT. Having a health MOT is great. How do you promote it? How do you communicate it? What do people get at the end of it? So a very recent nice example is health MOTs for everybody because everybody is different. And they really push that message out to the community. They have this available for members and non-members. They have seen a significant increase in the amount of members bringing their friends and their family in for a health MOT. That will have a knock-on effect on their membership rates. Almost perfectly to time. Summary, and then if you have any questions, I'm not rushing off anywhere after this. I happily will take some questions. Important thing is have a plan for what suits you and your members. Health MOTs might not be the right thing for you, but advertising metabolic age as a grabber for people might be. So think about what suits the facility you operate or the clients that you work with and put that plan together for you. Keep it simple, keep it relevant, create impact by getting that emotional response. Metabolic age, I told you I would refer to it quite a lot, genuinely is the most powerful measurement we see across all industries. Generate the emotional response. And then create the accountability and the impact. They all feed into each other. Keep it simple, keep it relevant, use the right bits of data, gets the emotional response that you need, creates the accountability and the impact that keeps people either coming back to you more and more and more, or signing up for you in the first place. This wheel we have available. It's on our website, I think. We can send it to you. These presentations, I think, are going to be shared to delegates that came today. It's very small, I know. You'll get a bigger version of it. But the gist is breaking it down. What is relevant to who you have in your gym? The relevance is important, not everything in one place. And almost perfectly to time, I can stop talking. Thank you. First of all, thank you. Nobody's asleep, so tick 1. Nobody fell asleep. Thank you. Any questions, I'm happy to field now. These are my details. So smart QR code will will Bono me, U2 me straight into your mobile phone. Not into Apple Music, you don't want to hear me sing, but straight into your phone. Any questions right now? I guess I'm getting shouted at. I've got 1 minute, but yes. Yes, that was on the slide, but I brushed straight past it. So it uses your basal metabolic rate. So it looks at your basal metabolic rate and then gives you an age category for that basal metabolic rate. So what it's effectively saying is if I have a metabolic age of 28, I have the BMR, I have the basal metabolic rate of a 28-year-old. Yeah, on lean mass against fat mass, that's creating your basal metabolic rate. Then we'll give you an age based on that basal metabolic rate. So it's about the body's efficiency, effectively. It's saying if I have a BMR of a 28-year-old, it'll give me a metabolic age of 28. If I'm 40, that's a clear indication that I have quite an efficient body, my body fat levels will be healthy. The nice with metabolic age is it naturally drives that secondary conversation. So exactly what you just asked, members will ask. How does it work that out? Why is my metabolic age 50? And that's then when you get into the data relevant for them. But actually your metabolic age is 50 because if we look at your body fat levels, they're a little bit higher than what they should be. So this is our first target, right? Let's work on this, get this down, and then you'll see your metabolic age. So yeah, good question, because that's the first question your members will ask. Yeah?
How much difference does it make the conditions that they are doing their health check-in? So for example, if you want to offer a whole day how much difference?
Yeah, so I guess what we haven't covered, because this wasn't the conversation for it, is BIA technology in general. Yeah, if you're using a BIA device, you should use it for accuracy under certain protocols. We provide training for that. So if the technology is being used, we will train staff to make sure it gets used in the right way. Basically, it's about consistency. You step on it in a consistent body state at a consistent time of day, it'll throw you a consistent result back. So you can't, basically, if people are just jumping on it at any point, yeah, you'll get some wrong data out of it. So you can control that, but you have to control that.
So if you're consistent, it's better so say if someone can't consistently always make it in the morning, even though the morning may be a better swap day if they consistently.
Take a quick 5-minute break.
That's it. Yes. All about the consistency. Yeah. But yeah, we could do a whole new presentation about that if you want to. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So yeah, I guess that level of conversation then is once any operator or gym or personal trainer goes, we want to use your technology, then we have that conversation. We go, this is how you use it, for sure. No problem. Thank you. No more questions, guys. You can go. You don't have to stay. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thank you.